What's up, everybody? Here we are with a course preview for the course for the 2017 Baseball Cross, which is this Sunday at the Barrie Sports Complex. So here we go. Heading out from the start, which is similar to what it's been in the past couple years. I sprint down the straight into a big sweeping right-hander before sprinting down another straight. Lots of room here to make up for bad starting position before you start running into any major bottlenecks. So sprint. As we exit the start-finish area, got this little turn through this bowl. If you're far back, this might be the first little problematic section. Heading into this gravel through the parking lot, which has been rerouted from what we had in the past couple of years. Another sweeping kind of turn into a right on the gravel. And once again, this is kind of a new bit for 2017. Course designer Davide Fertini decided to change things up a bit. Here we go, still lots of speed through here before we hit the first 180 right at the entrance to the double-sided pit. As we pass the pits, make this left, we're going to come into another 180, this time around this hedgerow. A little bit of loose sand there as we get to sprint down this laneway in between the trees. A couple exposed roots and some pine cones to worry about. For the most part, it's a good place to stretch those legs, move up a couple positions if you can, and stretch things out. Here we make a left, a little off camper with some exposed roots that could get slippery, and another 180 right here across the road. And now we are going to start heading up towards the only bit of elevation on this course, out behind the baseball diamonds. That's become a regular feature of the course over the past couple of years. Right now we're just riding on top of an embankment. It's pretty rough back here. Right here we're going to drop down onto the off-camber for the course. Rain in the forecast for Saturday and Sunday. This section could get pretty slick. Definitely be important to maintain some speed through here. So right now we're going to drop down the embankment again into a short, punchy little uphill here. As you can see, I didn't quite make it because I didn't carry enough speed. Something to work on before Sunday. Back again through these trees. This kind of section was added to the course last year. We're going to make a 180 around these trees here, ride along a sandy little patch at the top of the hill before dropping down, and quickly turning right back up the hill. Short punchy climb with grass that is pretty grippy, so a little hard to maintain some speed before dropping down through a bit of a loose section that could get pretty slick in the wet. Again, it's going to be important to keep your speed up through the section, maybe get a little sprint on as we once again punch back up the embankment. Once again, I don't make it. Again, yet more stuff to work on for Sunday. So we're back on the bike. Going to drop down this rough descent and onto the smooth grass that is right next to the baseball diamonds, for which this event is named after, held every year at the Barrie Sports Complex, who have been very accommodating. Actually quite enjoy having us out there each year, seeing a new sport using their facilities. Got baseball diamonds, soccer fields, even a rugby pitch out here. So lots of people in the community using it. Okay, now for this gravel feature, back onto the grass. One of the most notable changes to the course this year is that there are less of those long gravel stretches than there have been in previous years, keeping the course in a much smaller area with a lot more flow to it, like this section here. got a bunch of turns in quick succession for which you can carry a good amount of speed. That's a fun little section there, had me laughing. There we go, back onto a bit of gravel here. Gonna turn off and go around this tree. There's a pile of wood chips around the base of that tree, so you could cut in closer, but they are pretty loose. Back on the gravel. Let's go around. Basically one of those permanent puddles there, which could get pretty deep on Sunday. Here we are back on the grass. In this section, it's going to be important to maintain or build speed. So this is the lead up to that big, nasty volleyball court that Davide decided to torture us with. So basically at this point, you're going to be sprinting into this sand. It's a good 60 or so meters across. On this day, it was pretty loose in there, so I did not have much success. But again, come Sunday, after day or two of good rain, that sand's gonna be nice and wet, be more conducive to riding, especially once some ruts form in there. Obviously the early races you'll probably see more people running, so there'll be less ruts, but later I think we'll see most of the top riders riding that whole pit. As we're out of the sand, back on the grass, we're gonna sweep around right again at the other side of the double-sided pit. And turn back to run alongside the volleyball court. I mean, they taped it that you could ride that sand again, but who is going to want to do that? Can cut that little corner if you wanted, though. So we sweep around. There's a couple big rocks here in the middle of the course that hopefully will be moved come race day. Here we are heading towards the double barriers, which come right after a left-hander, and you exit out with a right. Found it quite useful to unclip from my right pedal and stand on the left, making that turn into the barriers. Now we're back onto a fast, flowy, grassy section. So always watch out for random pedestrians on the course, and also be careful when crossing the course, people, on Sunday. As I said, these are fast, flowy turns, plenty of grip on the grass right now, but again, all that can change in the wet. Plenty of speed to be had here for these turns. As we head up out of this section, we're going to head into the run into the staircase. They did a bit of work around here this year at the sports complex that has made this area quite sandy. So we got a couple sandy turns here, which I unsuccessfully navigate this time. And the sand right now has been pretty damp feeling there, so packs up nice, and there's a good rut forming already from all the pre-rides. This one's quite packed down as well. With the rain in the forecast, it could either get really muddy in here or, nice and ruddy for good lines. So we're running up the purple staircase, which is in need of a bit of lawn care at the moment. They haven't quite got a lawnmower or weed whacker up here, so we just got this little footpath forged by the pre-riders as I struggle to remount on those two little humps at the top. Once we're back on the bike, across this little plateau before we drop down the steep little bank at the back, make a right turn into this open area at the back, which in years past, when it has been wet, has become quite muddy. So again, with that rain in the forecast, it could be a mud fest back here, guys. Out of that, we're back onto the grass into the last little section before the finish area. Again, a couple tight turns to navigate. If things are close at the end of the race, this could be a very decisive area. If the turns are tight and in quick succession, which make it a little tough to maintain speed for here. Just use the whole course, tape to tape. See, someone took that to heart there. Here we go. Now we're heading right in towards the start-finish area again. Before we get back into the start chute, we got one last left-hander and a right-hander to navigate. Now we're back onto the starting straight and heading into that sweeping right-hander. Depending on how the racing's going, the sprint's probably already started as we're heading around the corner. And now as we exit the corner, you're on the gas, sprinting for the line. Sprint, 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 sprint. Clearly I'm not on this pre-ride. And then the finish line will be somewhere in this general area. So there you have it, course preview for the 2017 Baseball Cross course. As things stand right now, it looks like it's going to be fast and flowy, but come Sunday with the rain in the forecast, it could be a completely different story. Hope to see you there.